Okay, so today I'm going to give you a straightforward, clear and simple explanation of what delta is, how it works, and how you can implement it to your trading strategies to get some stronger entries and to really understand what the market is doing. So if this is confusing to you right now, or if this is confusing to you right now, I guarantee you that by the end of this video, this will hold no secrets. It will be all very, very clear to you because it's not that complicated. I guarantee you that. So before we zoom into the candles, I want to again simplify things, take a first step here with a drawing, and then we'll get into the candles, okay? So I'm going to draw two candles here. The first one is going to be what you call a bid and ask candle. So we're going to have some clusters within this candle, and this candle will be divided by buyers and sellers. To the right side, you will have the ask, which is the buyers, and to the left, you will have the bid, which is the sellers, okay? Now I'm going to draw the same candle right here, but this candle will be a delta-based candle. So again, we'll have three clusters. So each cluster is a price area, okay? So three clusters, three levels, and we'll see what the delta is. Because what is the delta? Well, it is the difference between the amount of buyers and the amount of sellers, okay? So you're gonna take the buyers and subtract the sellers. Now, it is important to say that we're talking about aggressive buyers and sellers, aggressive orders, also known as market orders, as opposed to limit orders, okay? The market orders are the people that click on the button as price is moving, oh, I want to buy right now at this price. The limit orders are people that say, okay, I'm gonna have an order right here, and if price gets up there, it's going to get filled in 10 minutes, 1 hour, 3 days, okay? So here we're looking at market orders, also known as aggressive orders. So let's get into some numbers here. Let's imagine here we had 20 buyers at this price level in this cluster and 10 sellers. Well, the delta candle would tell us that we have plus 10 positive delta. 20 buyers minus 10 buyers equals plus 10 positive delta. So it is a simplified version of these numbers. It kind of does the math for you, okay? Let's say at this cluster we had 40 buyers and let's say, I take 30 again. Let's say here we had, I don't know, 20 sellers, okay? That would give us a delta of, easy math guys, plus 20, okay? And finally here, let's say we had more sellers here. Let's say we had minus 70 sellers here at the bottom and maybe plus 20 buyers. That would give us a negative delta in this particular cluster of minus 50, right? Again, easy math, 20 minus 70, that's minus 50 negative delta, okay? So now that you have the delta for each of these clusters here, how would you know the delta for that full candle? Is this candle a positive delta or a negative delta as a whole? It's very easy. You're going to add the buyers, 10 plus 20, that's 30, and you're going to subtract the sellers, minus 50. 30 minus 50, in this candle, you have minus 20 negative delta. So if you see what you have down here, you have the cluster with volume and delta. So these numbers are giving you for each candle, we'll go check out the candles in a minute, but this gives you the delta plus 65, minus 19, minus 10, plus 25 for each of the candles that are down below here. So the delta here for this candle is minus 20, okay? Now, what we can do as well, by the way, obvious thing, if you add up all of these numbers here, well, let's do it actually, because you really can have a deep understanding. 20 plus 40 plus 20, okay? We had plus 80 buyers in total for this candle, right? And here we had minus 10, so these were sellers, so minus 10, minus 20, minus 70, we had minus 100 sellers, okay? So what happens, 80 minus 100, that gives you minus 20, okay? Now, to explain to you also what, let me just do something here. Let me make this a little bit larger. So as I've explained, we have the delta, this cluster here, this row here is the delta for the candles. But what you also have is the volume. And I do want to explain to you, again, very simple, what this volume is. Once you understand this and the candles, I mean, you're good. You understand the most important part of the footprint chart, right? So I want to explain to you the volume. It's also very simple. The volume is what? Is all of the sellers, regardless of all of the sellers, it's all of these numbers combined, basically. Whether they're buyers or sellers, it's all of these numbers combined. And this would be 100 plus 80, 180, okay? So if you had here the clusters with the volume, the same way we have it down here, this is what these candles would look like. You would have your volume and your delta. And this candle would be volume 180 and the delta minus 20. All right, this is what these candles would be telling you, right? Total volume 180, delta minus 20, okay? That's it. That's delta in a nutshell, okay? Now we're going to get into the actual candles so we can have some more live examples. I'm going to show you how these candles work. I have this example prepared for you right here, and how we're going to do some math basically just to show you, to demonstrate to you what the drawings was and what it looks like in real life. So let's start with the bid and ask for this particular candle here. Okay. So here, same as we did earlier, you're going to take the 17 buyers on the right and subtract 13. Okay, bid, ask, and the bid here to the left. 17 minus, sorry, not 13, 3. 17 minus 3. Let's look at the delta. 14. Okay, now here we have 55. Let's see. We go back to bid and ask. 104 minus 49 is what? That is 55. Here we have a negative delta example. Let's see what the numbers were. 43 buyers minus 47 sellers, we did get indeed minus 4 negative delta. Now, I'm going back to bid and ask. If you add all of these numbers together, regardless of if they're buyers or sellers, you would get the total volume for that candle, which would be 263, if you add all of these numbers together. Now, if you add all of the buyers and you subtract all of the sellers, what do you get? You get plus 65 positive delta, okay? There you go. What else can be said here? Looking at the delta, I think we're not gonna go through each individual candle, obviously, but okay, let's look at something else now. We've had 64 more aggressive buyers, market buyers, right? These candles, they only show us, I'm repeating myself here, but they only show us the market orders, the aggressive orders, not the limit orders. So here we had a blue candle, as you can see, and we had more buyers than sellers, so everything makes sense, right? We've had more buyers, we went up. Simple, okay? Now I want to show you an example that even though we have positive delta, the candle is not necessarily going to be blue. It might, in fact, be red. And that is what we're going to get into right now. Because now you're going to understand the difference between the market buyers and market sellers versus the limit orders. So where's our example right here of what you would call a delta divergence? We're now getting into delta divergences. And let's zoom into this candle right here. This candle is very clearly a red candle. Look at the delta here. We have a pretty decent sized red candle here. Not huge, but decent sized. Look at the delta here. 168. That's a pretty strong positive delta. If you looked at the numbers before, minus 89, minus 16, minus, okay? We did have some divergences in this area, by the way, but let's not focus on this for now. We had a very strong positive delta within that context, and yet we got a red candle, a bearish candle. Now, what does that tell us? Now we're entering another understanding of order flow. If we have more buyers, yet we have aggressive market buyers, yet we have a red candle, what does that tell us? Well, there were some sellers here that we're not seeing within the candle, but there were some limit orders, some sell limit orders pushing price down. So we might have had 168 contracts bought with people clicking on the button, buying, market buying, but we actually had way more sell limit orders. We might have had 250, I don't know. It's difficult to know even using Bookmap. I'm not going to get into that right now because you can have hidden orders, hidden limit orders, even looking at level 2 data, okay? But we know for sure now, even though we had a lot of market buyers, we had even more sell limit orders. And plus, we also had our market sellers, of course, sorry, we'd have to go to the bid and ask. So we had some market sellers within the candle, obviously right to the left, but we also clearly had even more limit order sellers pushing price down. So now you understand what a delta divergence is. It is when the color of the candle doesn't go with the color of the delta. You could have an opposite example, of course. I don't have one here, but well, actually I do have one here. Look at this. I have a few here. Negative delta, minus 16, positive candle, all right, positive bullish candle. So we had within that candle some buy limit orders pushing price up. Now guys, you don't just take divergences and trade them like this. Just because there's a divergence, you don't go long or short just based on that. I'm going to demonstrate to you now how you can use this with any strategy, because I'm going to show you that this was actually a great short setup in just a second. But just, you can see now that you just have a couple of examples. Negative delta, positive candle, another negative delta, and another positive candle here. Now, why didn't you long here? Well, I'm going to give you an example of a setup I could have taken right here. I'm going to pull out the VWAP, session VWAP, and two EMAs, the 20 and the 9 EMA. Now, I would probably have some more technical analysis in a situation like this. I would be looking at what happened here before entering maybe a short here, okay? But just focusing on this area and this delta, this bearish delta divergence. We're going to go back to the delta here, simplify things. So look at this. This is beautiful. We had our EMAs cross around here. Now the EMAs are crossing session VWAP. We're closing price below session VWAP, which is turning red. And we're retesting in perfect confluence the two EMAs and session VWAP. And what happens there, exactly in this area, someone was interested in selling this because, again, well, clearly people were interested in buying, but they failed to drive price to the upside. All of these market buyers failed to drive price to the upside. And we had some limit sell orders that said, hey guys, I want to short this. I want us to hold below this level, okay? And price went down from there very clearly, okay? So this is a perfect example on how you can use delta divergences, your understanding of delta in confluence with your technical analysis, with your EMAs, with your VWAP. Ideally, you would have, well, you had an interesting area, just by the way here. If you're just drawing basic support and resistance, this whole area was an area of support here, well, support resistance, right? And we broke below it, retested. So you had some nice confluence just based on market structure here, okay? And you had your perfect confirmations looking at delta. Okay. On top of this, let's look at something else now. We understand what a delta divergence is. We understand what delta is in general. Let's have a quick look. Again, I think this should be the subject of a full video looking at trapped traders, but I still want to give you a little introduction to what we could be looking at. What happens when, let me give you a very clean example maybe here. Yeah, let's look at this here. Look at this whole area here. We're going to look at this whole area here, from which, as you can see, we rallied to the upside. Look at all of these sellers, minus 82, minus 44, minus 78, minus 118. Huge amount of sellers here, which were inefficient at driving price to the downside. What does that tell us? Well, obviously we have some buy, and also we have some more sellers. They're all stuck at the bottom here. We have no buyers at the bottom. It's all negative delta, right? And yet price doesn't go down. In fact, it goes up. Very clearly, we have buy limit orders in this area absorbing all of these sellers, okay? This is very obvious. This is what absorption looks like very clearly, okay? More sellers than buyers at the bottom, and yet price doesn't go down. In fact, it goes up, okay? We have this. So we have absorption, but what we also have at the same time is when we start closing price above here, when we start closing our bullish candles above here, what happens to all of these guys, all of these sellers down here? Well, they're trapped. This is what you call trapped sellers in this case. All of these aggressive sellers, they're stuck in their trade. They took some shorts here and some shorts here, some shorts here. We don't know where their stop loss is, but we know that they're underwater, they're trapped. And this, with the absorption of the buy limit orders, this gives us sort of a good recipe, so to speak, for price to go up. We have trapped sellers, we have absorption, we have buy limit orders. We're closing below all of this. Now price is going to have the fuel, so to speak, to go higher, okay? This is, again, just a little peep on what trap traders is and what absorption is. But you have an understanding now on what delta is, and I think I'm going to stop the video here. Stick around for more because we're going to start looking at strategies. You already have an idea of what you can do here for some entry models, but I'm going to go deep into different sort of entry models and strategies. And if you haven't seen my video about support and resistance, how I draw my levels, how I could have looked for a short for here, from here, for example, well, check out my other videos. I have a full free course here that I am posting on YouTube.